Our story begins a cliche one, featuring me, decrepit, unathletic nerd, scrolling on his phone searching for some sense of entertainment instead of actually getting work done. This was the moment he came upon something that would change his life. A little game jam, which is a game making competition for those unaware, where he would simply have to make a game about fish. The jam was called Fish Fest. He snickered. But it wasn't until he came upon the greatest idea. Bass Bass. The pun, immaculate, and his poor sense of humor was enlightened, and he knew he must make such a thing. Henceforth, his mission was clear: make Bass Bass a reality. However, this did not come easily. Surprisingly, despite being a game developer, I do have a life, and that week was a busy one. I effectively only had about 8 hours to make this game using my time in my computer classes, as well as some time after school on both Tuesday and Thursday. My time limit was strict, however, most certainly possible. But I would need to be smart about how I made the game. I would start with the core mechanics of any rhythm game, that being hitting notes at certain times. I made 4 points to represent each string of the bass that a note could go to. Not the most complicated thing, but it took me about an hour. Then I had to make the music, so I could get on with setting up the notes in the game, before going on and making an awesome slap-based bass line. I decided for a second to be smart and decided to make the song at 120 beats per minute, meaning every beat is half a second apart, making other things a little easier later. Anyways, time to make my bass line. And that was the moment he realized he can't slap. If you recognize that, please touch grass, you need it. Anyways, I'm going to talk about more things I did while hunched over a computer. After such an awful realization about my lack of slap skills, I threw a song together digitally in LMS. Just drums and bass, and it just goes through a couple motifs. There's nothing that crazy, but it's a nice variety, and I really like how it turned out, so here's some of it now. Wow, that's a song. And now was the painful part. Placing every single note into the game. I just want it to be known that I am never making another rhythm game ever again. That was awful. It took so long. Thank God I was smart about it though. Using some simple math, I was able to determine the position that every note needed to be. That's where the 120 beats per minute comes in. Because every note moves at a constant 300 pixels per second, that means it moves 150 pixels each beat, because each beat is half a second. So eighth notes, just divide that in half, and it's 75 apart. Quarters 150, half notes 300, etc., etc. But even with my math, that took so damn long. It was awful. On a much lighter note, however, I did the art for the bass and his bass, which was really fun to make, and I love how it turned out. You know, art is normally something I complain about in these devlogs. Dear God, I was so happy to make the art for this game because that meant I wasn't placing notes for that stupid song. After doing all of that art, I pretty much just put in the lightest amount of polish because I had no time. I threw everything together. That was the game. You can play Bass on itch.io right now in the link in the description. While it is a little janky and it lacks much polish, I do still think it's an enjoyable experience. Plus, I mean, the game's literally just a pun. So you have to play it. That's the rule. That's the rule I just made in the book of gaming gaming rules. It's the 35th rule, and I'm sure you're aware of the one before it. Also, I have a Discord server. I rarely mention that, so if you want to check that out, please do. Anyways, I'm going to continue procrastinating the second devlog for a little robot game with more filler videos, so bye!